This is a heist for the Lakers as new reports and rumors are starting to swirl surrounding a new Lakers target that is a center. We're going to break down these new reports and discuss what this means as following Alex Len's debut, albeit not a horrible debut, fans are clamoring for the Lakers to make moves, and we're hearing more and more rumors and reports coming out revealing that a center move is on the horizon. We're going to break that down in this episode and discuss some other reports as well. But before we get to that, folks, quick reminder, hit that subscribe button. If you're a part of the percentage who aren't subscribed to the channel, this is the place to be for daily Lakers content. Thank you guys for your continued support. We are on the road and getting close to 15,000 subscribers. Now, ladies and gentlemen, Alex Len, he didn't have a great debut. It definitely it was pretty bad, but it was his first time, playing with the Lakers, all these different things. And it's led to a little bit of overreaction from, myself included a little bit, but I'll give, Alex Len a little bit of time. That being said, there are some new reports that have come out revealing some interesting details surrounding the Lakers' next move as it pertains to a center. And let's break it all down now. So, as we know, the contract that Alex Len signed was a prorated veterans minimum. We've covered this a lot on the channel, and it's mainly because it means that they can make another move because they're under the second apron hard cap. So just to give you some context, the Lakers are able to make another move, assuming that they waive somebody, probably in the form of a guy like Cam Reddish. So just to throw that out there and to make it clear, and we know what the depth chart looks like. But this article and report has dropped. Lakers need to be patient and sign the Spurs player when he becomes available. And this is why it would be a heist. The Lakers shouldn't give up on their pursuit of big men with one player on the Spurs available in a few days. Now, the Spurs obviously signed Bismack Biyombo to the 10-day and all these different things. And it seems now, see here, the Lakers saw Alex Len make his debut for the franchise. He looked bad in the court, putting up 4 points and 7 rebounds, mostly during garbage time. This debut won't stop Len from getting minutes as the Lakers lost, of course, Jackson Hayes to an injury. And JJ Redick came out after the game and said he thought Alex Len was fine. All these different things. However, he's an average rotational center, but might not have the explosiveness or defensive ability to maximize his effectiveness on the Lakers as currently constructed. So then it leads to Bismack Biyombo being the best fit for the Lakers. If you look at the free agent market right now, there aren't any elite options to contribute to teams unless they have a specific role. Impactful players like Ben Simmons and Markelle Fultz have already been signed. Also, the Lakers couldn't get Ben Simmons because they're over the first apron. But it is going to be interesting. Now, of course, Biyombo signed a 10-day contract. Just to give you some context on why it's possible. He signed a 10-day contract with the Spurs on February 9th, but hasn't made an impact on the squad. He's appeared in one game for the Spurs and expected to return to free agency once his current deals end. The Lakers will have to swoop in and snatch him up before the Spurs or any other team tries signing him to a full-time deal or another 10-day contract. We're going to dive into his stats and things like that, but I want to start with this. So obviously he signed the 10-day deal. 10 days are something the Lakers can do, as well, but I see you guys in the comment section pointing that out. This would be a very interesting fit because Bismack Biyombo is a very solid center when it comes to being a backup center, and he has been his entire career. Now, obviously, he hasn't really shown it in San Antonio, but as it pertains to the Lakers going after another center, I think there's a real world, whether or not Jackson Hayes is hurt long term, or maybe he just wears a mask, whatever he ends up doing. Of course, we're in the midst of the All-Star break right now, so they'll actually be able to get him some rest and things like that. But it becomes very, very interesting now as you start to think about whether they go for a center or whether they go for another guard. And of course, Jordan Goodwin's a name that's been brought up a bunch. If you waive Cam Reddish and convert Jordan Goodwin to a full-time NBA contract, I think at this point their biggest concern is just doubling down on centers until you find one that works. And by find one, I mean you really only have one other chance to do so. And let me know down below, do you agree that at this point it's most important for them to go after another center versus a guy like, Lonnie Walker or anything like that? But as it pertains to Bismack Biyombo, again, he signed a 10-day with the Spurs, but that 10 days is about to be up. And once it is, there's a good chance the Lakers are waiting to make their next move in the form of course, Cam Reddish being waived, and then you sign Bismack. And he's averaged 5.1 points, 5.9 rebounds, and 1.3 blocks over his career, playing 14 seasons as a defensive center who focuses on rebounding and blocking shots, and he's much more explosive than Len. And he is extremely interesting because as you look at this team, right, how would Bismack Biyombo fit? Now, let's just assume Jackson Hayes is healthy, and then you're competing between Alex Len and Bismack Biyombo. Bismack Biyombo is similar to Christian Koloko, actually, however, a much more refined version. He's basically Christian Koloko. If Koloko's been in the NBA for a while and has kind of figured out his role. Biyombo is a very, he's solid in the pick and roll. He can finish around the basket when it comes to lobs. He's not going to be creating any shots. He doesn't have a great touch around the rim, but he is a very athletic big who can, block shots, basically. And again, he hasn't really had a great past couple of seasons, but you think back to even his last full season, which 2022, he averaged 4 points a game and 1.4 blocks. Last season, his blocks fell off a little bit, still averaging 1 point blocks. So he's going to be a guy who goes out there, gets rebounds, plays solid defense, and is a very fundamentally sound defender and rotational player. And that's exactly what you need from a guy like Bismack Biyombo, and it's really what the Lakers need. He's only 32 years old. Some fans out there think, because he's been in the league for a while, that he's older than that. He's not in his late 30s. He's only 32 years old. And Alex Len is, of course, I still have faith in Alex Len being somewhat serviceable. This was his first game. He didn't really know the plays, all of that. I'll give him a pass for that. However, when it comes to agility and actually being good at defense and rebounding, he just didn't seem to have the instincts that the Lakers need. Now, Jackson Hayes does. The only question would be, and again, in this scenario, you'd be able to keep both Alex Len and Bismack Biyombo. You have Bismack Biyombo maybe as your third string center. You can have a guy, if you're going up against a bigger team like the Sixers or, of course, Nikola Jokic, you could throw Alex Len in the mix, get him against bigger bodies and get him hopefully involved. And that's what he is. He's a big body who can play 10 to 15 minutes a game. But if you get Bismack Biyombo in there, he can be a guy who actually plays in the rotation more. You see in the fourth paragraph here, he won't have any on-ball duty and likely won't be a major offensive contributor. I can guarantee you he won't be a major offensive contributor, but he's someone to throw out there to give Lakers a rebounding threat. And that's the thing. He's a lot more active than Alex Len, a lot more agile. And the signing won't solve much, but at least it gives the Lakers an option that doesn't end with LeBron, Dorian, or Rui filling in the center minutes. Now, we saw JJ Redick try to go small, albeit in the absence of Dorian Finney-Smith against the Jazz in the last game when they lost. Walker Kessler absolutely dominated them. They were literally running, block lobs every single time. You had Walker Kessler, Lauri Markkanen sitting at the block and then just going backdoor for lobs. You were having pick and roll lobs, all these different things, and no one could guard it because they aren't big enough, no matter who their center was, whether it was DFS, who wasn't playing last game, LeBron, Rui, whoever their center was, right? They need a veteran who can come in and understand what's needed for him instead of a rising youngster. Now, I do think Alex Len, they're going to give him multiple chances, like JJ Redick said at the end of the video, at the end of the game, a few days ago against the Jazz. He thought Alex Len played fine. And I don't think he played well at all, but I also can understand the fact that, hey, he's still new to the team, all these different things. But I think giving Bismack Biyombo a chance is interesting. This is actually from the Spurs side. LA eyeing San Antonio legend. You can see this here. This is from a Spurs fans' point of view. They may see a lot of the same qualities in him that Brian Rent, the coaching staff, did. I hope the guy at least gets a second 10-day contract and chance to see the floor. This is from the Spurs subreddit, so obviously the Spurs fans are talking about wanting to give him a second 10-day. So it's going to be interesting to see, A, when he becomes available, and B, if they give him a second 10-day to see how he does. But if you're the Lakers and you can go up to Bismack and say, hey, we'll offer you a 10-day contract or offer you a full-time contract if you waive Cam Reddish, it's a very intriguing, possibility, especially given the fact of, how solid he's been throughout his career at just playing his role. And it's kind of fallen off this year. A lot, he's only played one game, but last year, especially 40 games, he still did very solid for Memphis. He was averaging 23 minutes a game for Memphis. And then, of course, went to OKC. And, of course, the OKC is a loaded team. And they play a lot of small balls. They didn't really need him. You have Chet Holmgren at the 5 when healthy. So, and now they have Isaiah Hartenstein. So it's interesting, right? I think ultimately he's going to be a solid player no matter where he plays. I think the Lakers should definitely give him a chance. It could be a heist if they get him and he's actually able to produce what they need, because at this point, it's going to be a lot of Band-Aid work as the season progresses. And if you're able to get a guy like Bismack Biyombo and he gives you what you were hoping to get out of Alex Len, it could be very interesting. But let me know down below what your thoughts are. Things are starting to pick up surrounding the Lakers. That open spot is still there. You can still waive one more player and have one more open spot. Now, it could be in the sense of converting Jordan Goodwin, or it could be in getting a guy like Bismack Biyombo. But let me know down below what your thoughts are. Thank you guys for watching. Cheers.